Frank Scuba Diving Career Advice by Pacificklaus. Okay, welcome back. Last episode of my Frank Scuba Career Advice mini-series. This I made because of popular demand, and worth pointing out, this YouTube channel is not just going to be me talking, but after this we're going right back to critters, fish, new ranks, everything in between, filmed underwater in the Philippines. I want to share some insights though, which I have from about 10 years of teaching scuba, being involved in the scuba industry. These are things which, they're not scandalous, Frank. I just mean that I can be honest, right? I don't need to sugarcoat anything. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just telling you what to look out for. Mostly it's super cool to be active in the scuba industry, to work as an instructor. But some things it's good to know in advance, and so I covered, or should you do it at all, being a dive master, being an instructor, starting your own dive shop, which agency to use, or depending on your situation. And today I would like to slightly digress, but it might be useful for a lot of people who are looking at doing more scuba diving, getting involved more, volunteering. So there are lots of opportunities to volunteer related to scuba diving. And again, the only organizations and dive shops I'm mentioning by name here are the ones which I think are cool. So I worked myself with People at the Sea, a NGO in Malapascua. Now they've expanded in the Philippines, and what you could do there, you could join them as a person who is interested in marine biology, marine conservation. You could join them for 2 weeks, a month, and you would pay. It's still cheaper than going on a resort vacation. What you would get, there would be some scuba training, and then you would learn about marine biology. You would learn how to do a reef survey, and then you would help a little bit in terms of their surveys, their marine conservation, their research program in order to survey the reefs of that area, to see what is their status, what would be a good conservation measure for this reef or that reef. And you pay for your own, for your food, for your accommodation, for your diving, but you also pay some of the money which you pay goes to the NGO and supports the operations. That is a very nice system, and they are basically, the main thing is, are they upfront with you what's happening, and People at the Sea, of course, were upfront. So this is where your money goes, and then they would have local staff. They would have some scientists on a regular payroll, and they would be paid from that. And this is a good system. In the Philippines, there's also Marine Conservation Philippines in Sambuquita, which I really like a lot, and La Mave, I believe they're now in Puerto Princesa. So here you, to a varying degree, you either support marine conservation, or you actual research, and these are great organizations, and it's worth your time. And I want to point out two things, like, is this right for you, and is the volunteering opportunity which you found a good one? So is this right for you? So what are the few cases where I've observed people not having a good time? There were essentially two ends of the spectrum of people being social. I experienced a case where a guy just left after a while because, in fact, he wanted to go on a backpacking vacation on party. And you know, I'm all for everybody's right to party, but that's just not why you're joining a volunteering program. Of course, you know, it will be social, and you know, you obviously you can have a beer after your dives in the evening. But if you want to get smashed every day till 2 a.m. and then not show up for your lectures and for your training, this might not be for you. So, you know, and the guy just found that out too late, right? And then, you know, he was just like, it was slightly awkward, and then he left. And then he had like a regular vacation. And then the other thing is that there were some people, and again, this is a small minority of the volunteers which I've observed in these situations. Most people had a great time. I saw other people who were just not social enough. And, you know, I don't want to make fun of them. And they were just a bit snowflakey. And then they, you know, you will have to deal with other people in this volunteer program, the staff of the NGO, and you know, the other volunteers, and some people you will get along great, and other people you will not get along great, and then you just, you know, you don't have so much contact, but you know, if there's a conflict, you just like solve it like adults. And then I've seen cases where that just wasn't possible, and you know, people had like this like awkward, socially very awkward discussions. He said this, and you know, how can he say that? And like if you're generally a person who doesn't get along well with other people, you know, go on a resort vacation, you can lay in your hammock and be on the beach, and you don't have to talk to anybody. And so basically, do you have the social skills to deal with this situation? Probably ask yourself that. You should know yourself well enough to judge. And again, there's nothing wrong with partying, and there's nothing wrong with, you know, being on your own during your vacation. Now, the other thing I want to say, so there are multiple opportunities of, you know, ocean-related volunteering, and some of them, the ones I mentioned, you actually support marine conservation, and you support research, marine biological research. Sometimes it's just a, you know, paid volunteering. And you might learn something about the ocean, you know, there would be lectures, there would be some training in methods in marine biology, but it's a commercial enterprise, and that's fine. That's fine if they tell you that. And you know, you could still have a great time learning about the ocean for 3 weeks, but these programs need to be upfront what they actually are. And there are a few red flags. You know, if they're claiming to be a research organization, but there's nobody there with actual peer-reviewed publications, that might not be honest, what they're saying then. The other thing is, if you want to be a marine biologist, you have to get your undergraduate degree in biology, you have to get your master's or probably best PhD, and then, you know, you have to work very hard on research projects. You're not going to be a marine biologist, and it's not going to significantly help your career if you do a month of volunteering somewhere, and it's dishonest to claim otherwise. So if you have a volunteering opportunity which says, you know, come to us, this will be your start in a career of marine biology, I don't think it is. And I think, you know, claims like this to me are a red flag. So, you know, talk to other people who have been there, look at the people who are running this, you know, what have they actually achieved in terms of conservation, in terms of published science, and then, you know, do it. Unless you wanna be left alone, or you wanna party it up all night, I would say do it. It's a good opportunity, and you can get some of your dive training, sometimes up to the dive master level, even instructor level, and these volunteering opportunities are great places sometimes. So that's it. Again, share these videos if you like them on your own social media. Support the channel, like, subscribe, you know, PayPal me. Again, you know, I'm not like begging for money here, but if my YouTube channel makes a lot of good cash, I can make more longer videos about the ocean. And that's it. Happy diving, best fishes. See you soon.